According to some research, friendships can have a much greater impact on our health and well-being than we think. But if that's the case, why do so many times we find it hard to build and maintain close friends, especially later in life? We decided this one was a good one to dive into today in Real Talk. Kara and Crash stuck around, and co-founder of Head to Biz, Michelle DeShields is back. Welcome.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Have I not
to
seen you since? No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
Well,
Happy
good.
2020.
Happy 2020. I'm glad we're diving into this today because we talk about friendships a lot, I feel like, on the Real Talk table. But I like that this one is saying, this study is saying it's good for our health. But do you feel like as you've gotten older that it's harder to make friends, or is it that you maybe just don't have the time that we did in our 20s or when we were single running around? What do you think, Michelle?
I kind of disagree with that. Even though I still have my friends or really close friends from like high school or college years, I think I've made some really amazing friends during just my adult years.
Yeah.
I've really made some really close friendships, and I think that comes from just maybe with your career and knowing who you are a little bit better than you did when you were younger. And so having more common interests with people has been easier for me to make friends as an adult, I think, that I've kept around or that have stuck around.
Right.
Yeah.
Kara?
I think we're more choosy when we're adults too. So when you were saying that, I was like, oh, when we're adults, we actually, it's not just like who you go to school with or who you're kind of forced to be around. You get to choose your friends, and they kind of become your family in a sense. If you don't live, I mean, we don't have any family here, so we should probably have more friends. You know, yes. But I will say, the friends I've made later in life, I cherish, and it's good.
Yeah, I think you make some of those lifelong, genuine friends, not only just out of high school and college, but in your 20s and 30s and whatnot. But yeah, I think as we get a little bit older, you'll make friends, new neighbors, acquaintances, and they'll become very good friends. But I think those early on friendships are those real, genuine, lifelong bonds.
Yeah, nobody knows you like the girl. I mean, I've had friends for my entire life.
Right.
Nobody knows you. I don't know you as well as the girls from high school.
I think that might be a good thing.
I know sometimes I'll be describing something. I'm like, you wouldn't have wanted to know me. And she's like, no, that sounds fun. I'm like, I'm just kidding. I wasn't that well. It's interesting because I do feel like, just like you, I kind of disagree because I have made friends. Kara, Kara's like a sister to me later in life. But it is, I think, having to do with the commonality, whether it is more career-driven or friends of your child's mothers, or your child's friends' mothers, those kinds of things. But this article basically talked about whether we even really need truly close friends. Experts say when you're overworked and overwhelmed, the motivation to have dinner with a friend versus Netflix and eating pizza with a spouse can really be hard to summon sometimes. But it is very clear that close friendships are necessary for optimal health and well-being. And I actually think you can do both of those. I mean, there are definitely nights that I'm exhausted. Hey, I'm exhausted tonight. I was telling her I haven't been sleeping good. Something's going on, hormones. But I would not miss my friend's birthday dinner for anything. And it's 6:30. I'll be home by 9. It's all good. So I think you can have both. You got to balance it.
No, I agree. Totally.
Yeah, that's interesting when you were saying that too, because I also a girlfriend has been wanting to go get a glass of wine forever, and I've been like, oh, because I feel already exhausted, and I know I want to see her. I love her so much. I want to go out with her, but then why in my mind am I like, can I really do that tonight? Shouldn't I be home? Like I'm thinking
it's the guilt
why do I
too.
do that? And then I'm like, I know when I'm done and I'm driving home, I'm like, I had the most lovely time.
Right.
You know?
And it fills your tank in a different way. That's what I always think, and that's what we need. I mean, for you guys, I feel like your guys value your close friends, your buds, your pals, your beer drinking buddies. So
and those are the ones that pick you up when you're going through those really, really tough times. I share a lot of my life on Facebook, and I've had some personal struggles the last couple of months, and it's been my core friends, my good buddies, Danny Martinez and James McCall.
Shout out.
And
Danny.
and FK.
We love you.
FK, you're out there. These are the guys that get you out of the house and say, look, we're here to help you. We're here to, those are those core friends that you really rely on. So I think it really helps you especially as far as health is concerned. Yeah.
Yes. I love that this study talked about ways that we can make friendships closer if that is a priority to you this year. Maybe for whatever reason in the last few years you've kind of pulled away. Now's the time to get back in it. Number one is create a foundation of security. So a psychiatrist in this article identified the 5 foundational elements of secure relationships to be consistency, availability, responsiveness, reliability, predictability. Okay, so think about all those things, what it takes for you to feel secure in a friendship. And I think I agree with all of those. If I'm not feeling safe with a friend, especially if I'm going to kind of divulge some personal things, whether it's about my marriage or about me personally or struggling, and I don't feel safe, I'm not going to be close to you.
That's right. That's true. And I think
For sure.
But I think too, all your really close friends may not have all 5 of those things in the relationship.
Right.
There may be someone that you can really depend on or you really rely on here, and then there may be someone that's, responds every time you call and they're going to pick up at 10 or 11,
Right.
12 o'clock, midnight if you need them. So I don't think to feel secure you have to have every one of those.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a lot to
but
put on
That's a
somebody
perfect
else.
person. That's a really
That's a big resume for a friend.
No kidding. I mean, who
kinda
is that
tough.
person? I want to be your best friend. I agree. That's a
Right.
great point to bring up.
Yeah,
But-
my mom always said too, she was like, you'll be lucky in your life if you have 2 or 3 friends that maybe do meet all of those criteria and that those are your closest friends. And everybody else is kind of your friends in spots. Like
Right.
you need people to make you laugh or the person you want to go out with or whatever it is. But if you have people like that kind of encompass everything, they're just lucky.
You are
That's right.
very lucky.
That's right.
Yes.
Don't let them go.
Yeah.
Another strong point they say is let yourself be known. Experts say about it's so important to be seen for who you are. And you also, though, have to put the onus on yourself to stop pretending to be somebody cooler, smarter. I never worry about that here on the show. Be exactly who you are. That is one thing I will say. Joining the 50 Club, like it is a great feeling, and I'm sure more evolved people realize this before 50, but it feels darn good to go. At this point, I am exactly who I am on the show, as I am with my children, as I am with Jim. You got to know who you are.
That's right.
No pretense, no BS.
Right.
I was telling a good friend of mine, I said, talking about that, and of course I'm in the 50 Club, well into the 50 Club. I said, you know what, at this point, if you don't like the train ride, either get off at the next stop or jump off the train.
I like
Jump
that.
off.
Just
I like
jump
that.
right off.
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I am who I am.
Right.
That's right.
And it's lovely. Crash.
Yes,
Thank
Crash.
you.
I'm on that Crash train.
Yeah.
You know, you ladies can stay on. First class car.
But now, I gotta say, knowing you two ladies the way I do, I don't think either of you were not authentic early on at any point. But I guess we could, in certain point, put on a different face for different groups you hang out
Right.
with. But I feel like you guys would always be authentically you.
Yes,
But
I
has it
think so.
evolved more that way, where you really truly feel like you are?
I think so. I think I've pretty much always been who I am. I may laugh too loud, or I may,
Right.
Good. not
I
be
like
the
that.
perfect
Yeah.
person you think I am. But I mean, that's who I am. I think I've always been that person. But it can be kind of hard to tell these days with social media. Everybody wants to. They're the expert on everything, or they know how to tell you how to get rich, and so they're so smart to be able
Right.
to. So it is kind of hard. Because you see people really not being who they are, especially when you
Sure.
know someone personally, and then you see them on social media being someone different,
Yes.
Right.
portraying to be someone different.
Well, we see it all the time. Like, I love a reality show. I watch every Housewife show since the beginning, and I'm not afraid to admit it. But we see it time and time again when the friendships that form on that show, or if you're not like tight friends when you start on the show, and then you see these friendships disintegrate,
That's
and
right.
you're like, there's like such a power dynamic, and I think a lot of times it's like miscommunication. But it's interesting to watch it play out, because it sort of can play out in your own life on a different scale, where you think, oh, maybe I wasn't being myself, or maybe that person wasn't truly who they are. And then when they come to that person and they say, well, this is who I am, the other person's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
know who you
then they're not
are.
friends
Yeah.
anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
I see
very
that all the time.
interesting.
In
It's
our
true.
last minute, do you feel like, because I'm curious, like your high school friends, especially choosing this career that you've chosen, do they feel like you are exactly the same as
Yes, they do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they
Yes.
do. In fact, like they'll often comment and be like, "You haven't changed in bed." And I'm like, "Yeah."
They're like,
so-
did you really say that? I saw a clip of you on the show. And Kara's like, yes, I did. Atlanta accepts me for who I am, and we do. I'm going to skip ahead to accept that closeness isn't one size fits all. So, I was actually talking to the girls about this, and they said, Mom, do you have one best friend? I thought, not anymore. And I mean, I go, it's really evolved. Like, Kara's my best friend, and also
nice.
Aunt Karen, who moved here, who I'm going to, she's about, and then you have different groups, and
You have
isn't
different
that,
groups.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's not a one size fits all as you've gotten older. Yes,
That's right. No, I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
well, I mean, life takes you in different directions. I mean, my best friend from high school, Mike Cruz, we went from
Mike.
Miami.
Hi,
Mike. We went from Miami up to Atlanta. He met someone, got married, has 2 girls. Now, we're still at the drop of a dime, would be at each other's doorstep if either of us called.
Yes.
But he lives a different life now up in
Yes.
Alpharetta. I'm in
Right.
Sandy Springs. So we don't see each other as much, but there's still that friendship that will never go away. But yeah, you make different, I guess, different levels of friends as you move through life.
That's
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Quality
We
versus
could-
quantity, Kara, what is it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I get to see you every day. I'm delighted by it. Delighted by it. Delighted by
That was a
you.
good answer, Kara. I love you. I love you. All right, weigh in. We want to know how you keep the friendships alive and well and thriving in the new year.